Thanks for joining us on the media review segment of the program. Today we shall be discussing the ministerial screening. What is the role of the media in ensuring that Nigerians understand the process involved and adopted by the Senate? With me in the studio, I have Alhaji Ibrahim Modibbo, a former National Director of Publicity, APP and ANPP, immediate past Vice Presidential Candidate, GDPN, and currently a board member, Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, and of course is a PhD student currently. It's nice to have you in our studio.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's start with the list. Personally, are you impressed with the ministerial list?
Yes, the president in his magnanimity has decided to bring up a presidential list. This is a man whom we all know is highly cerebral and highly rated politician whose view or whose aspirations is to see to the development of mankind through a very purposeful, very transparent and very orderly program for the development of Nigeria. Now he has assembled a team. Look at it from any parameter of journalistic practice. We'll agree that the president has decided to choose people of timber and caliber by his own rating, people that he think he can work with, people that have rhymed with his philosophies and ideas of what his team should be, people that will implement his own programs of action, and also people that he think could deliver dividend of democracy to Nigerians. So I think the president has made a very good choice looking at the educational background of all these people and also looking at their profile, because I've gone through their profile, I've seen their performance profile, especially within the National Assembly when they are screened. I think most of them have met the minimum or the barest qualification of what a government needs as ministerial nominees.
Okay, now let's talk about the approach adopted by the Senate. Is it all about taking a bow? And does taking a bow means an approval?
Well, you see, taking a bow and leave, it is going with the norms and tradition of the Senate, especially for former senators or senators that have served in the hollow chambers of the National Assembly. So you see, they have this tradition, and they believe that once you've been a senator, you have all it requires to be a minister. And therefore, the challenge here is that as a ministerial nominee, you have been able to meet a criteria or a certain standard. Having served in the hollow chambers, especially the red chambers, or even the green chambers and even the state assemblies, they feel that you've been groomed in such a way that you are able to get that minimum or basic knowledge of governance. And therefore, they believe that, you know, taking a bow and go is to give respect to the hollow chambers, to give respect to the National Assembly in conformity with the tradition and aspiration of the Assembly. So I think I have no quarrel with it, in as much as these people that have been told to take a bow and go should rhyme with the philosophies and principles and policies of Mr. President. Anti-corruption posture,
yes, looking
at the issues of transparency and honesty, look at the integrity profile, and also looking at the need to deliver dividend of democracy. Because Mr. President cannot fail. He has been given the mandate, this is the second time, by popular aspirations of people to come and govern this country. His decision to come into politics is born out of his patriotic desire to positively respond to our generational challenges. And I think the generational challenges stem from issues of transparency and honesty, fighting corruption, looking at the issue of infrastructural facilities, looking at the, this cankerworm in form of terrorism, Boko Haram and all this. So all these things come together. It forms the nucleus of what the president intends to achieve before he leaves office.
Okay. Now, there seems to be an issue. Some Nigerians believe it shouldn't be all about taking a bow and leaving. Now, it has to be accountability, integrity, trust, delivering, impacting lives. Now, how can the media help to explain these to Nigerians?
You see, the activity of the media, or the media per se, does not only inform, educate, entertain, but it also sets an agenda.
Okay.
Social responsibility presupposes that as the media, are you objective?
Yes.
Do you balance your stories? Do you give fair hearing? And how critical is it to the aspirations of people, because the people matter. In development communication theory, it presupposes that without information between the government and the governed, there's likely bound to be failure in governance. And therefore, the media plays a very critical role in trying to see to the possibilities of linking the two, giving information, setting an agenda. Basically, the media should set an agenda, inform, educate, and also entertain. Therefore, under this circumstance, what I was expecting to see is the media focusing its light so much on the issues of the credibility of the nominees,
yes,
looking at their backgrounds, educational policy, performance profile, and also experience. It counts a lot. So, and also, what I want to see is for the media to focus on these nominees based on their profile and also trying to put square pegs in square holes. I do not see a situation where I'll find a medical doctor going to information.
Okay.
Because he might find that like a strange bedfellow. So therefore, we believe that those with capacity to perform should be put in the right places,
okay,
based on the experiences and what have you. So the media should not focus so much or display so much energy towards looking at accusations and categories, because for now, based on the constitutional provision of this country, you cannot declare a person corrupt until the court finds him guilty.
Yes.
Therefore, we have to be very careful. We have to be very sensitive to all these critical, because if you look at the issue of defamation, any media that tries to run down a person without having concrete proof falls a victim of defamation of character.
Yes.
And therefore, we have to be guided by the ethics and etiquette of the profession, based on the philosophy of the profession, and also based on the guiding principles, especially within the ambits of social responsibility theory.
Okay, you are very familiar with the terrain, the Senate. You're also a politician and a journalist.
Yes.
Now, I believe for any of them that make the list, any of them, should any of them make the list, we expect that they should come up with citizen-oriented projects that would impact lives. So how can we, the media, help put a check on their activities?
Very good. This is a very intelligent question. And that is why I stated earlier, square pegs in square holes, round pegs in round holes. If this government, knowing Mr. President, knowing his antecedents, I know this is a man that abhors corruption. He's a man that is very transparent and wants to see that dividends of democracy dispensed to people. Therefore, all these nominees, the media should critically examine the nominees based on their profile and also enlighten the people. Set an agenda. Mr. President, based on what we've seen so far on this, what I expect the media to do is to make profiles of all these nominees. See their strengths and weaknesses. Look at what the interviews they've had. Where are these people going to be productive and where are they going to have weaknesses? If we see a doctor, a medical doctor being taken to Minister of Finance, there's virtually little you could do. But if we see an accountant or a financial management expert taken to finances, we'll see that at least the productivity will be there. So therefore, if we have a journalist who is a Minister of Information, he knows the intricacies of the information ministry. Yes. And therefore, he's bound to go by the ethics and etiquette of the profession. So what I expect to see is Mr. President sitting down based on the available data before him and based on the profiles, based on conviction, and also based on the feeling that these people have experience and expertise in management of governance. He should try to see that the right people are placed at the right places. And also, leadership is a burden. It is hanging like the sword of Damocles on the neck of the leader. Because if there's anything wrong, it is President Buhari that will be held responsible. Because if you feel
they are on his cabinet.
Yes, they are on his cabinet. And therefore, if there's anything, any shortfall, Nigeria are expecting more from the president. I'm sure the president is not a failure and he will not fail.
Okay, let's assume I'm a nominee and I become a minister. I'm a journalist and I'm offered the position of the Minister of Health. Would you raise eyebrow?
You see, it's a very technical area.
Okay.
And people that are in that category, you know, a journalist, by our training, we report the space.
Of course.
We report everything
we know
from science.
About virtually everything.
Everything. Science, technology, we report education, we report sports. A journalist, journalism is the beginning and the end of learning. of knowledge. If you see a journalist, forget about the fact that lawyers are calling the learned. No, it's the journalist that is learned.
They're actually learned.
No, you see, the journalist covers everything, the law, health, everything. But under this circumstance, I'll prefer a medical professional handle the Ministry of Health, because he may know the substance, but there are some undercurrents. Let's assume that they bring a kind of a machine. They will tell you, look, this machine costs us, this machine is supposed to do this. If you don't have that experience, it might not be easy.
Of course.
As a journalist, we write on paper based on available evidence before us. So therefore, I do not expect a journalist to be taken to the Ministry of Health. Rather, a journalist should come back to his own professional area, where his expertise, and also why he could advise the government appropriately, taking necessary steps to see that this profession or the professional calling is adhered to the latter. I believe that NTA will have the best crop of journalists in sub-Saharan Africa. And therefore, with the current leadership profile that you have, that is very excellent, very motivational, and very having the foresight, I believe the sky is the starting point. Yeah. Therefore, I will not expect you to be made Minister of Health.
All right, Alhaji Ibrahim Modibbo, thank you so much for your time. This is the much I can take from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And that's it on the Media Review segment this week. Thank you so much for watching.